Hi, my name is Richard Vaughn. I am the owner and senior partner of International Fertility Law Group, a law firm based in Los Angeles, California, although we are also a national law firm, so we are able to practice in all states across the country. I have been personally in this business myself since 2006 and have handled close to 12,000 cases in those years. My partners over the years have institutional and historical experience back to 1992. So collectively, we've been involved in almost 24,000 cases since the early 1990s. We have probably one of the largest staff of paralegals of any law firm in this business, and we have the ability to cover multiple languages, including 2 paralegals that are fully fluent in Mandarin. We are also able to translate all of our documents in Mandarin as well, and provide assistance and interpretation in Mandarin throughout the client case. In a typical client arrangement, we begin the legal work once the surrogate or egg donor has been medically cleared by the IVF physician. At that point, we receive information that we need to draft the contracts from the agency working with the clients. So we receive that information from the agency, open a case, send out the retainer, and then once the retainer is taken care of, we begin drafting the appropriate contract. We will send the draft contract to the clients for review first and schedule some time with them to go over any questions that they might have about the contract. Once they're comfortable with the contract and feel that they fully understand it, then we will send it on to the attorney working with either the donor or the surrogate, depending on which contract we're talking about. After they've reviewed it with their client, they will get back to us and let us know if they have any questions or changes to request. There may be some minor bits of negotiation left to do on the contract, but after about a week or so of negotiations, we can finalize the contract. And once we collect signatures on the contract, we then send legal clearance back to the IVF doctor so that the medical cycle can begin. After the contracts are done, the next phase of legal work is the guardianship phase. First of all, there are 2 components to this guardianship phase of the work. First of all, we want the parents to be thinking about who would care for their child or children if something were to happen to both of them, especially during the surrogacy, but certainly past the birth of the child or children. So we have the parents put into writing who they would have as their backup guardians if something happens to both of them. The second component to the guardianship documentation is actually having the surrogate appoint the intended parents as the guardians of the unborn child during the pregnancy. And this is to give them the equivalent of parental rights, because the surrogacy agreement does not give the intended parents parental rights. It just establishes the intentions of the parties as to who will become the legal parents. So while the surrogate is pregnant, she is the presumed mother and then therefore has the authority to designate the intended parents as the primary guardians of the unborn child or children. And that gives the intended parents the right to make medical decisions for the child during pregnancy if necessary. It gives the intended parents the right to speak directly to the doctors. It gives the right to directly access medical records and to even take the child from the hospital when the baby's ready to go. So in the document that the surrogate signs, she will also list the intended parents' backup guardians in case something were to happen to them. After the completion of phase 2 of the legal work, and when the surrogate is in the 4th month of her pregnancy, we begin the work to get the intended parents confirmed as the legal parents at the moment of birth. And this begins with us collecting information from the intended parents, the surrogate, and the doctor, and we use that information to draft court documents. At this stage, we are drafting a court petition that explains to the court that this is a fully agreed petition and that all parties agree that the intended parents should become the legal parents and that their names should go on the birth certificate. We collect the information to draft the documents in the 4th month of the pregnancy. We tend to draft those court documents in the 5th month of the pregnancy, and we tend to get into court and have a court order by the end of the 6th month or the beginning of the 7th month. And at that point, we give the court order to the hospital, so the hospital has it on file, and we begin to coordinate matters with the hospital so that when the birth does occur, everything runs smoothly. When the birth does occur, then the birth certificate clerk at the hospital will need the original certified court order to attach to the paperwork that they complete to request the birth certificate. The hospitals do not actually print the birth certificate. They request it from the local vital records office, which is a branch of the state government. They send the paperwork to the Vital Records Office, they prepare the birth certificate, and we work together with them to help expedite the birth certificate so that it's available within about 2 weeks or less from the date of birth. Once the birth certificate is available, then the parents can apply for the U.S. passport for the child, and if returning home to China, also make an appointment at the consulate to obtain the baby's travel documents. One of the things that I find refreshing and very helpful for clients is being able to relate to them the personal experience that I've had going through this process. And one of the benefits that Victor and Johnson bring to their clients is their personal experience in going through this process as well. I can't tell you how many times the clients have felt very comforted by the fact that we know exactly what they've been going through because we've been through it ourselves. Welcome to International Fertility Law Group, where you will receive excellent customer service in all of your assisted reproduction legal matters.
欢迎来到 International Fertility Law Group， 我们将在生殖法律方面向您提供最佳专业服务。